Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Oyo ni furipeda ni mashapa, wanayana wa muvenda. And if you're here for the first time, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, a veteran in this channel, welcome back for yet another exciting episode of Risk Money and Insurance. So as you know from last week, we've been talking all things credit. So we are continuing with the series, and today we are talking, as you've seen from the title of the video, how to use a credit card like a pro, right? And so just know, if you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button below, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you get notified whenever I post a new video, which will be on a Thursday morning at 7 a.m. Now, without wasting time, let's just dive into the video. Right, so today we are talking how to use a credit card like a pro, and I will give you guys like 5 tips. But before we get into that, we just need to define what a credit card is, and then just get the basic things out of the way first, and then go to the tips. So a credit card, this is like plastic money. Honestly, it's a card that you're granted by the bank, which gives you access to a certain line of credit. So the certain line of credit gives you cash, and then you're able to use the money in your credit card, even though you don't really have money at that point in time, to buy things. And so in essence, when you buy things using your credit card, you are borrowing in order for you to buy stuff. And if you borrow, you need to really pay that money back. And also, if you delay in paying the money back, then you need to be charged interest rate for doing that, right? So it's not really free money, and it's also not your money. So it's the bank's money, but they've given you, access to that money so that you use it for whatever you want to do. And also, there are advantages, of course, to using a credit card. You can use it, to get access to cash. Perhaps it's like a week before payday, but there's something that you need to pay for immediately and you don't have the cash to do that. You can use a credit card and then repay, after getting your money on payday. You can also use it to, it's one of the easiest way or the quickest way for you to actually build a credit score. If you use it responsibly, you can actually, build a good credit score. And I'll give tips, as to how you can actually ensure that you do that. And then other things, there are also rewards associated with your credit card. So like travels, you can earn enough points or earn enough rewards for you to actually get a flight ticket for free. So I know this is sort of like the reason why some people may actually have multiple credit cards in order to get these rewards to actually end up go on a holiday for free. But that's very dangerous, but it can also be of advantage if you're a responsible individual. So now, how do you use your credit card like a pro, right? So tip number 1 for using a credit card like a pro: never use more than 30% of your allocated credit limits on your credit card. So normally they'll say like the maximum limit is like 50,000, 100,000, depending on your salary, of course, and your credit score and all those things about finances, your net worth and all of that. They might give you 100,000, 400,000, whatever, depending on who you are, right? And so never use more than 30% of that, because this then affects your credit score. If you're using more than 30% to the bank, it looks like you depend on credit. You don't really have cash that you can use in order to buy whatever you're buying. So never use more than 30%, as it affects your credit score. And then number 2 would be pay at the end of the month. Rather pay the full outstanding balance than to make minimum repayments. I know people will be like, but my minimum repayment is like 150 rands. If you do take the minimum payment option, then you actually end up spending more. You pay more in terms of interest rates, which is something that we don't want. But if you take advantage of saying, I've used this much on my credit card and this is how much I have to repay, you can actually repay that full outstanding balance and not pay interest rates, on your credit card or on the credit that you've actually taken out. So in essence, you've used the bank's money for free. And of course, the people that pay the full outstanding amount on their credit cards, these are the people that the bank doesn't like, because they don't get to make money on interest rates, right? And so, okay, cool. You just need to make sure that you repay the full outstanding balance at the end of the month. And you can only do that if you have spent, a small amount on your credit card. And so let's move on now to lesson number 3, right? So lesson number 3 on how to really take advantage or use your credit card like a pro You must never, ever, 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 ever accept those advances that they might give you. The bank has tendencies, they might say, you know what, spoil yourself. They send you an email or send you a check. They're like, spoil yourself, go on a holiday, or, pay your living expenses from your credit card. There's extra, credit that we've given you an extra 15,000, for example, to spoil yourself and do whatever. Mind you, that's not your money. And the trap here is, if you use that money will start accruing interest rate like from that day which you spend it. And so just avoid those emails, in as much as the bank recognizes that you're able to actually afford this type of loan. Avoid such things, stay away from them, and actually just stick to your credit limit. And then another thing that you can do in order to use a credit card like a pro is to actually limit the number of credit cards that you have. I know people can have 5, 6, 8 credit cards, and they might think this means I have more money. I can, if this one runs out, if I cash out on this one, then I can use the other one, and all of that. That is just a trap for you to be stuck in debt for a long time. So if it's possible, stick to 1 credit card or 2 credit cards. I know that people out there who try to beat the system, but you need to really make sure that you keep track of all the money you spent in your credit card, and come end of the month, you do repay your credit cards, because then you'll start accumulating interest rate to a point where the amount might actually be huge, such that it's very difficult for you to repay all that money. And then tip number 5, right, would be, don't ever miss a credit card payment, because the minute you do that, you start accumulating interest, and your interest will also accumulate interest. So the more you avoid, repaying your credit cards, then you just get into this whole mess of having so much credit that you actually don't even know where to actually start in terms of like paying back. So don't miss those payments. Pay it back. It's not free money. It's you borrowing to actually buy stuff. So make sure that in whatever you're borrowing, it's actually worth borrowing for. We spoke about good debt, bad debt last week. And also, this is one of the things. If you're someone who's trying to build your credit score, you might actually use your credit card to buy groceries and all of that. But I do advise that you repay immediately. Don't make all those unnecessary purchases and not repay within the grace period, or within that period wherein your credit card doesn't charge you interest, which can be a month. It can be like 3 months for some other banks. It depends on the bank that you are actually dealing with. Just a bonus point from my end would be, make sure that you do not actually borrow more than what you can repay. So in as much as you have access to a whole 100,000, it doesn't mean that you have to use the entire 100,000. And just make sure that credit cards, just make sure that you know that credit cards can be little devils or little diamonds. So make sure that you use them responsibly. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. If this is the content that you would like to see more of, then don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe. I hope you enjoyed this video. I love you so much. I will see you guys in the next video. Oh, bye.